Hi, I am Hamza Iqbal and welcome back to my YouTube channel with a new horror story. So let's start the story. Wasting time in the quiet suburb of Maplewood. The Miller family moved into what seemed like the perfect home, a spacious two-story house with a lush backyard and a charming porch. It was everything they had dreamed of. But from the moment they arrived, something felt off. While unpacking, their youngest son, Danny, stumbled upon a peculiar door in the hallway upstairs. It wasn't in the blueprint they had reviewed before buying the house. The door, painted a faded gray, didn't match the rest of the interior. When he tried the handle, it didn't budge. "Hey, Mom, what's in this room?" Danny called out. His mother, Emily, looked puzzled as she climbed the stairs. "What room?" she asked, her brow furrowing as she saw the door. That wasn't here during the walkthrough. They decided to leave it alone for the time being, chalking it up to a design quirk they had missed. But that night, Danny swore he heard faint tapping sounds coming from behind the door. The following morning, the family tried to investigate. Emily and her husband, Mark, pushed and pulled, but the door wouldn't budge. Frustrated, Mark fetched his toolbox and tried prying it open. When the door finally creaked ajar, they discovered a dim, dusty room filled with antique furniture. A large, cracked mirror stood against the wall, and an old rocking chair faced the corner. "Creepy," Emily muttered, wrinkling her nose. Danny wandered in, his hand brushing the aged wallpaper. "It's like someone just left it," he said, pointing at the untouched furniture. "Let's clean it out tomorrow," Mark suggested, already making plans to repurpose the room. But as the day went on, strange occurrences began to plague the Millers. The air grew heavy with an unexplainable chill, and the house seemed darker, even during daylight. The family dog refused to go upstairs, growling at the hallway where the mysterious room was located. That night, Emily woke to the sound of faint whispers. She nudged Mark awake. "Do you hear that?" Mark strained his ears. The whispers grew louder, almost as if a crowd was murmuring just outside their bedroom door. They grabbed a flashlight and ventured into the hallway. The whispers seemed to emanate from the newly discovered room. When they opened the door, the rocking chair was moving slowly back and forth. Mark stepped forward, but the mirror in the corner suddenly shattered, sending shards flying. Emily screamed, and they bolted out of the room, slamming the door shut behind them. The next day, they called in a contractor to inspect the room. To their astonishment, the contractor claimed the room didn't exist. "The blueprints show a solid wall here," he said, knocking on the plaster. "What do you mean? It's right here," Emily insisted. But when she opened the door again, the room was gone. In its place was a blank wall. Determined to understand what was happening, Emily dove into the house's history. She discovered that the previous owner, a reclusive old man, had vanished without a trace. Neighbors whispered about how he was obsessed with the occult, conducting strange rituals in his home. As Emily read deeper, she found an unsettling detail. Every family that had lived in the house before them had left abruptly, abandoning their belongings. The reason was always the same: unexplainable disturbances. The final straw came a week later. One evening, Danny disappeared. His bedroom window was open, the curtains billowing in the cold night air. The family searched frantically but found no trace of him. Then, Emily heard a faint laugh coming from behind the wall where the room had been. Desperate, they broke through the wall with sledgehammers. As they tore through the plaster, the room reappeared, just as they had left it: dusty furniture, the rocking chair, and the cracked mirror now eerily whole. In the mirror's reflection, they saw Danny, standing in the corner, his eyes wide with terror. But when they turned around, he wasn't there. The whispers began again, louder this time, drowning out their screams. And then the door slammed shut behind them. The camera pans to the exterior of the Miller house, now dark and silent. In the upstairs window, a faint figure watches a shadowy outline of someone who shouldn't be there. The screen fades to black, leaving only the sound of faint whispers.